one story that I want to talk about is that there's a case in the U.S. Supreme Court against Microsoft, and it's basically it's a debate over whether if the government can force Microsoft to give up information or data that is collected elsewhere. So the idea is, the original case was based on a U.S. drug trafficking case where they asked to give up information.
Drug trafficking with Microsoft?
Yeah, so Microsoft controlled the Hotmail of this guy, his emails. Okay. So they gave over his address book, when he was sending the emails, the communication, but they wouldn't give up the information that was held in the emails because that data was stored in an Irish server bank. Okay. So because it was not on American property, they wanted to, Microsoft wouldn't give it up.
Okay.
So it's in the Supreme Court right now. But it needs.
But
some
it's
time
an
to
American.
develop.
It's an American crime. The crime was in America, drug trafficking.
Yeah.
But Microsoft, the server was in Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy. All right, if you want to talk about that, we can talk about that.
No, it needs some time to develop because I think the case just started arguing on Tuesday, so it'll take some time.
Okay.
For the decision to come down.
All right, well, maybe next week we'll talk about that.
But
or
in general,
you can
data
bring it up.
And data information, I think people have forgotten about.
Right, that's a good point. And YouTube has a lot of our data. Okay. Well, specifically Google. But,
yeah.
And they own YouTube.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
How much information all these companies have about us.
Very scary.
And how we're willing to track ourselves by checking in different places.
Yeah.
Well, we've all recorded that, right?
Yeah.
Or wait, are we? My question was, are we all recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, we're all okay. So
I'm 3 minutes into the recording now.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, I'll just do the intro then.
So far into the recording that my hair is now less wet and therefore is falling down, so I don't have as crazy of a look as I wanted to have.
Well, that's only for the video portion of the podcast. But if you're just tuning in now, welcome to the Hungover podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Julien, alongside
Ivan.
And we have a very special guest today from Rebreak Youtube Channel and also Rebreak Radio, the podcast, Dennis.
Hello, I'm Dennis. That's me.
Thanks, and welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry that I don't have a webcam.
Oh, totally fine. That is totally fine. Your voice is all that is necessary. I think a lot of people end up listening to our podcast instead of watching the video anyways. But you can get this podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud, and of course in video form on YouTube. But it would be really helpful if you wrote an iTunes review for us, because then we can, get more visibility on the internet. Now, Dennis, we start our podcast out every single week by asking each other what sort of media have we been consuming over the past week, and what did you drink last night?
So first of all, I don't drink, so I can't really
totally fine.
Can't really share a lot about that. I mean,
Did you have any?
I drink a lot of water, so
awesome.
Real lot of
healthy.
water, and orange juice too. That's really good stuff. But yeah,
Nice.
in terms of media and stuff like that, I'm currently doing a show similar to Kind of Funny's MCU in Review, where we're going through all the Star Wars movies. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So.
That is a lot of movies.
So we started last week by watching Phantom Menace. So we're going through all of them chronologically.
You're going in order?
Yeah, we're going chronologically. And so after this, I'm actually watching Attack of the Clones.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Now, question. In terms of this, are you going to be watching only the movies or the external, like, animated TV shows and such as well?
Only the movies. We're watching episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Rogue One. And then the final episode will be solo, because the first episode is going live on March 23rd.
That's a good idea.
So it'll
it's
go...
as if you planned it.
Yeah, so it'll go 1 week, every week up until the release of Solo.
That's
Star
really
Wars
cool.
Story. Yeah.
I'll have to tune in. Is that going to be on your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Or yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be every Friday starting from March 23rd.
Cool.
If everything goes to plan. Yeah. But yeah, like I'm not as much of a prequel hater as a lot of people are. Like I definitely...
You're a midichlorian fan?
Oh god.
Speaking of, I could go in about
Speaking
midichlorians. Like midichlorian, there's actually like a big misconception regarding midichlorians.
Okay, what is this misconception?
So a lot of people think that midichlorians is the Force, but
Okay.
midichlorians is actually the determining factor of how much you can interact with the Force.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So the
So
more
it's-
midichlorians you have, the more you can interact with the Force.
So that's why the Anakin's midichlorian counts were so damn high.
Yeah.
You're
We're
right.
off the charts.
Yeah.
They were off the charts.
But yeah.
What did they actually say?
It
What did he actually say? I don't know.
was
what he
over
said about-
20,000, I believe.
Over 9,000. Oh, 20,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, you always want to dumb down your sci-fi mystical powers to a number that you can attach to something. That's what I've always thought that was necessary in my screenwriting.
But wait, so are midichlorians like actual cells inside your body or something, or are they
They're
just
living organisms
Yeah.
in your body.
Yeah, they're
okay? Just
they're supposed to be like living organisms that live in everything, basically.
bacteria. Great.
You
Yeah,
know how
okay.
when Luke explains what the Force is in The Last Jedi?
Yeah,
you know what he
sorta.
left out was
Yeah.
that the only reason that everything can interact was because everything has midichlorians in it.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
that was pretty.
That's clear.
That was pretty interesting.
So
like
clear.
a lot of people said that Luke's explanation of the Force kind of retconned midichlorians,
Of
but
course it did.
Well, it's
but
canon, right?
he,
Or is it? I don't
it didn't necessarily retcon midichlorians. He didn't talk about how you interact with the Force. He talked about what the Force is. So
I see.
technically,
But the
midichlorians
point
just
was-
weren't mentioned.
I
I'm
think
not
that
like
what-
I'm not
the point
like
was
necessarily
is
pro
that-
or midichlorians or whatever. I just don't
He's
care about it.
Switzerland here. He's in the middle.
Sweden. But yeah,
I think the point is that Luke's explanation negates the need to have that conversation about midichlorians, and
Yeah.
that's why it's the important retcon.
yeah. I mean that is true. Like
Useless concept.
what I like about the difference between the prequels and what came after, or what came before technically, but you know what I mean, is that like the prequels is this like huge like utopian world where we like everything is like on top of everything, you know,
Yes.
and then after the Empire strikes back, no, just kidding. Strikes the first time, then everything kind of becomes
Execute
more.
Order 38. What was it?
66.
64? 66?
Becomes more dystopian, and like all of the stuff that you cared about when everything was so perfect doesn't really matter anymore. So the fact that everyone was doing like research on midichlorians and stuff, it doesn't matter anymore because there are bigger problems to take care of, you know.
Yes. It's really quite a beautiful story, Star
Yeah.
Wars
Well,
is.
welcome to Star Wars Cast. This is where we talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, but other than
And
that,
steal Dennis's idea.
I've been playing a lot of The Last of Us, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've gone back to
Do you
it.
have it on PS4 or
Yeah.
PS3?
Yeah, I've gone back to it to kind of platinum it.
Oh, nice. That is
Yeah.
a difficult platinum, if I'm not mistaken.
Not necessarily difficult. It just
No,
takes a
not
lot of time.
necessarily. Are there still multiplayer trophies that you have to get?
Yeah, there
Or-
are.
Oh, yeah. Actually, all of them are multiplayer trophies, almost, right?
No, there are two in the
Or
main.
there's only two.
Yeah, in the main
Okay.
game, but then there are a lot of
I know
DLC
nothing.
multiplayer trophies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The main The main game has two of them, which is you have to play. There's kind of a campaign in the single player where it's kind of cool actually. Like you play a bunch of multiplayer matches, but it's structured up in 12 weeks, and every match is 1 day. So you have to every match you have to get a bunch of supplies for your survivor group, and if you don't kill enough enemies in the match, you don't get enough supplies. So that means the people get hungry, people get sick, and then the people will eventually die. So you have to kind of take care of your survivor group over the course of 12 weeks.
No, they had a really interesting multiplayer sort of campaign mode in that game. I thought it was pretty cool. I never got really that in. I honestly played through the single player, and it was so much for me to handle that I just had to stop playing the game. It was really great. I love the single player. It's honestly, I still think one of the best games that has come out in the past 2 decades. But I couldn't get into the multiplayer. I know one of my friends played the multiplayer for a while, so I heard through him that it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Other than that, I've also played Bridge Constructor Portal on Switch.
Oh, you got the Portal Bridge Constructor game?
Yeah,
is that only on Switch, or is that also on?
It's on pretty much everything.
Steam. Okay.
I know it's on Steam and mobile and Switch.
Yeah, one would
might
assume
be on
it
PS4.
has to be on Steam, right?
Might be on PS4 and Xbox. I don't know, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, how's that game?
It's cool. It has some like Portal humor, so that's fun. The person who did the voice for GLaDOS is back to do GLaDOS again.
That person, she's the best.
Yeah, the writing isn't as good, but it's still good enough. But yeah, it's a cool game. Right now, I'm like on this pretty hard stage, but what happens is that when I finish it, the game crashes. It's happened twice. Oh. So
really,
yeah. It's like level.
Update that, or is that a hardware problem? Do you know?
I don't know. It's like level 37 or something of 60, and I just it just doesn't.
It's it's a Kojima style mess with you thing.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
It's actually, or it's like a Doki Doki Literature Club. You have to. Spoiler alert, you have to delete a file, and it's actually a crazy game.
I love Doki Doki Literature.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
Yeah, cool. What else? Is that it? Or, I mean, that says a lot of stuff to go into.
Yeah, I'm unemployed, so I can do a lot of shit.
Oh, nice.
Solid.
I mean, yeah, I could go into even more, but go ahead. You can talk about whatever you've done.
All right, Ivan, what have you been up to?
I have been exceedingly sick for the past few days.
Yeah.
So
you don't sound that sick.
Yeah, today was the first day I woke up and I was like, holy crap. I
can actually talk.
Yeah. It feels decent today.
We'll see how the day ends for you.
We'll keep it going. I was doing because I had like this deep, scratchy, sick voice, so I was singing a lot of Johnny Cash. It was really good. I was very happy with myself. Awesome. I could actually hit the bass notes. So because of that, I haven't drank anything, but tomorrow, when I'm out of the sickness for good, I'm going to have a double IPA. It's already purchased. It's right there, teasing me. But tonight, we're recording this on Sunday, March 4th, so tonight is the Oscars.
Oh, so I didn't even know that.
In preparation for the Oscars, I watched a couple more movies yesterday. So I caught up on the Florida Project.
That's with Willem Dafoe, right?
Yes, Willem Dafoe. It's the breakout performance by 6-year-old Brooklyn Prince. Mm-hmm. And it's a movie by Sean Baker, who previously did Tangerine, which is a weird movie in that it's about a transgender prostitute, but what makes it intriguing is the whole thing was filmed on an iPhone with a special lens cap and program. So
really?
Yeah, It was a really well-made movie, especially
iPhone 6. Shot on iPhone 6.
I'm not positive. It was probably
Apple
iPhone
has all
6.
these
But it was an incredibly well done movie based on the contingents of the equipment that they were using. iPhone 5S.
Oh wow, even
5S.
worse.
I have a
amazing.
5S. I can
There
make
you
a
go.
movie.
Yeah,
That's
you can
exactly what this means.
Yeah, but it's insane how good smartphone cameras have gotten the last few years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and especially if you can get some programs that enhance kind of how the film goes, and you use they had a special lens cap or something that they attached to the iPhone.
Yeah, there are a lot of
camera itself.
accessories that you
I
can
wonder
attach to smartphones.
how long they could film for without the phone dying. Just
They used 3
obviously.
of them, so
Oh, they used 3.
it was a rotation, I guess. But the Florida project was definitely shot on much higher quality cameras.
Yeah.
It had a much larger budget, in that it went from $100,000 for Tangerine to $2 million for Florida project.
Whoa.
Cool. But the thing that I really love about this movie is that it's there's no real like plot. There's no. It's really quotidian. It's a day in the life, and this repeated life cycle, following basically this like little girl who's out of school for the summer in Florida in the shadow of Disney World.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Really,
So-
the film itself is a very
In Tampa.
intimate investigation of the life of people in the shadow of mega capitalism. Because this is the strip. This is poor people living in you pay the week's rent for the place that you're living. You're not allowed to establish like residency in the room, so they force you to move rooms after a few
that's
weeks
weird.
so that you can't have like squatters' rights or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of place that this is based on. It's a really close and personal narrative because although there's no overarching story, everything feels very natural. And I think the thing that I like about Sean Baker's work the most is that a lot of these principal actors are their first time actors. Like the little girl, this is her first thing. Her mother, this is her only thing that she's ever been in. Willem Dafoe is the only person. Willem Dafoe is the only person who's been in a lot of different projects other than Caleb Landry Jones, who plays his son. But it's so natural and so weird and so beautiful, and everything just kind of flows, and it doesn't have to have this overarching plot of the mother has to get money for the rent or else they're going to be evicted, like these hardcore things like that exist in this world. It just doesn't have to be so explicit, and things develop so naturally. You can feel that there was a script for sure, but the kids and the actors were allowed to play around with it because of the just developing that natural cadence of how kids talk, and it was beautiful.
Now, with a movie that you've described like that, how do you end a movie like that? It just sort of ends, or
no?
I guess spoiler alert, but I wanted to see it.
There is a climactic event towards the end.
Okay.
It does build towards this this chaotic moment where there's kind of magical surrealism in the last moments, right? It's the magical surrealism of what Disney World is, and it melds with the lives of the little girls in the movie.
That's cool.
So it does have this moment of extreme tension, and then the tension never really gets resolved, but you get transported into the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
That's really how it encompassed the
corny,
ending.
but probably better.
So it doesn't end with a random alien spaceship showing up and the main character hovering in a car and throwing a Molotov into it?
No, this isn't the next Cloverfield. The other movie that I checked out yesterday was Dunkirk. So nice. I had originally seen Dunkirk when I was in Turkmenistan last summer, but I wanted to see it with the English actor, like voice.
Oh, you saw it dubbed?
Yeah, I saw it dubbed in Russian. So
at least it was in Russian. That's funny.
So I wanted to hear what the actors sounded like. I have to say, this movie loses so much when you're watching it on a small screen. No, this is a movie that was designed to be seen large. I think it's going to be unfortunate because I don't think Christopher Nolan is
where
going
did
to
you
win
see
director.
it? You just downloaded it or something?
No, I bought it off of Amazon. So it was $10 off Amazon. But to rent it was $6. So I was like, difference of $4. Might as well. So Dunkirk, of course, World War II, English soldiers being evacuated from France. It's extremely well shot. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of extras, and everything feels natural. The movie is so incredibly tense. The music is always driving towards this finality of the piece. It's a very different thing. Whereas the Florida Project seems completely unstructured, Dunkirk is tight. It is so tight in terms of its pacing and its movement.
Long is it? It's 2.5
really
hours?
short.
Oh, it's short.
It's an hour and 46 minutes.
Well, I thought Christopher Nolan's not known for making such